for your Watcher Sliver, your Telekinetic Sliver, your Dormant Sliver.
Wow.
It's very exciting. Your Poison Sliver.
The Poison Sliver, okay.
Yeah. Shadow Sliver. So you can get all your Poison Slivers through. Oh, yeah. That's going to be my lasting memory. Actually, I'm going to really remember the sort of presence of White Weenie by its absence.
Sure. Yeah, it's one of the more stark sort of metagame dances I've seen.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to... Definitely Karsten with the bucket.
Karsten with the bucket,
just like,
sure.
But just... It sounds like it's a funny image, but it's just also this...
Determination.
The idea of the determination of this really great player who's like... He understands how important these events are.
It's only 5 a year.
In terms of the overall scheme, and he fought through, and he played great. He played great Magic.
Yeah.
And certainly just this top 8 in general. Just the idea that 3-point, something top 8s per person in the top 8. It's 23 career top 8s in this top 8.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to remember Oiso. I mean, it's like years from now when we're voting him into the Hall of Fame or whatever. It was like he had that dominant run, but then, a couple years later, Pro Tour came back to Japan. He was able to get here, and he's like, hi, I'm still awesome.
He for a long time, he was the only player from his class eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
At once to 10 years, right here, he had the minimum 100 points faster than anyone else from his year.
Right.
He's obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer when that rolls around, right?
I think so.
We asked him or Kenji.
Yeah, that was funny. Kenji, who was Masashi Oisa's protege. I mean, Oiso really took Kenji under his wing and taught him how to play. Took him around at events for a while. And, Oiso, after qualifying for top 8, was asked, who's better, you or Kenji? He thought for a minute, and he kind of cocked his head to the side, and he said, now is Kenji. It's like, all right, well, that was the easy answer. Okay, all time. You at your best, Kenji at his best. Who's better? And he thought for a good long while, and he said, made a motion with 2 hands right next to each other, said the same, even.
Funny story about Oiso. His first top 8 came in this hall, in this convention center.
Oiso did, yeah.
In 2003, and he made the finals. His best finish in the top 8. Has actually not gotten out of the quarterfinals in any of his.
Yeah, he's actually
subsequent
2 and 6 lifetime.
Yeah, has not gotten out of the quarterfinals in his subsequent 5 trips to the top 8.
Right.
So he thought back. He's like, well, what's different? He's like, I know. When I made the finals of that first Pro Tour, I stayed up and drafted all night. So he apparently stayed up all night drafting Future Sight before the top 8 today. Caught a couple hours of sleep at about 6:30.
Wow. That's an awesome plan. I wish that had worked.
Me too. Story's much more anticlimactic now than it was going to be when he won this Pro Tour. All right, we're underway here. The mandatory first turn Terramorphic Expanse.
Mitamura sacks it to go get a swamp.
Smells like Shadow Mage Infiltrator.
Get a good look at Wafo-Tapa's hand. Full of ways to kill creatures. No permission. Tendrils, sudden death, damnation.
2 Urborgs, it looks like.
Oh, is that right?
No, is that last one a swamp?
The foils are throwing me off. Mitamura, a handful of blue cards, careful consideration. A Brine Elemental. It's like he's going to go ahead and fix his hand with careful consideration.
Have you seen anybody cast that as an instant end of turn?
No? I can't even remember it happening in a draft match. Strong. Did you say too strong?
Too strong. He's looking at all the cards in his hand, having a hard time discarding. He's considering discarding a cancel.
Wow.
And he's going to do it. He's going to discard cancel.
And what was the other card? Cancel on a shapeshifter.
Oh.
Wow.
He's trying to scare Wafo-Tapa. That's a good way to do it.
Did need to keep some land. I mean, it's just kind of control on control. Keon plays another board.
And there's Teferi, end of turn.
Yep. Gets to untap. Only one blue mana for Keon. Teferi gets in there for 3.
Yeah, flash out Brine Elemental for 6 at the end of the turn.
Yeah, I mean, Guillaume's got a bunch of ways to kill Teferi main phase. Goes for sudden death, which cannot be responded to with Brine Elemental. That was his plan. It didn't work out.
I think he was hoping for a damnation there.
Here's Shadow Mage Infiltrator. Yeah, it really is. Handful of creatures on one side, handful of kill spells on the other. Interesting. Mitamura goes for a morph there. Why would you open up a 2-for-1 with Damnation?
I mean, and Wafo-Tapa has demonstrated a willingness to trade 1-for-1 on the...
Yeah, I don't like that play. There's the Damnation, and Mitamura gets himself 2-for-1 when either one of those individually, I think, would have been threatening enough to potentially bait that Damnation out.
He's discarded 2 shapeshifters now.
Bizarre. Here's another morph, and here's another Finkel. There is no second Damnation.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there is. Wow. Brine Elemental and Shapeshifter down. Mitamura has just walked into a pair of Damnations from Keon Wafo-Tapa. I mean, he's not out of gas, but I feel like he could have played this game slower. Like, what's the hurry?
That's going to get tendrils.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hurry was.
Yeah, especially after Wafo-Tapa.
Last
Damnation.
game, we talked about it. Just Finkel drew out a Damnation. Just face-down Morph Creature drew out a Damnation. I mean, I think Wafo-Tapa... I think Mitamura could have just played those creatures out one at a time. He'd just be up 2 guys.
And Wafo-Tapa's seen enough cards that he feels comfortable taking a risk on tapping out for.
Oh, 2 morphs. A little scary. Extirpate, Teferi, Tendrils.
Careful consideration.
Where's that thing twice? There's Tendrils on the face down. What do you get? Was it a Brine Elemental?
Looks like it was a Willbender. I only caught a glimpse of it.
That's what. Okay.
Willbender, okay. Brine Elemental gets flipped.
Mitamura must know something we don't.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, does he have a